The velvet box slipped from Marcus Chen's hand and hit the restaurant floor with a sound that made everyone turn. Elena's face went white. The man beside her, tall, handsome, wearing an engagement ring on his left hand, looked confused. Marcus stood frozen in the doorway of the Grove restaurant, white roses crushed in his other hand, staring at the woman he'd spent 5 years working to deserve. Marcus? Elena whispered his name like a ghost she didn't believe in. I came back, Marcus said, his voice cracking. Like I promised. The celebration around them died. 50 people who'd been laughing and toasting moments ago now watched in silence. Someone's fork clinked against a plate. Marcus could hear his own heartbeat pounding in his ears. He'd imagined this moment 1,000 times during late nights at his desk, during holidays he'd worked instead of coming home, during every sacrifice he'd made. Not once had he imagined this. Elena, who is this? The man asked, his hand moving protectively to her shoulder. David, Elena's voice failed. Her eyes locked on Marcus, and he saw something flicker there. Recognition. Memory. Pain. Can we talk outside? She stood without waiting for an answer, her cream-colored dress swishing as she moved past tables of staring guests. Marcus followed, leaving the crushed roses and the ring box on the floor behind him. Someone gasped. Whispers erupted like wildfire. The patio outside was empty, string lights casting soft shadows across Elena's face. She'd changed. The girl he'd left behind had worn her hair long and wild. This woman had it pulled back. Elegant. Controlled. She wore pearl earrings he didn't recognize. She looked beautiful. She looked like a stranger. 5 years, Marcus said, because he didn't know what else to say. I spent 5 years building the life I promised you. I got the promotion, I saved money, I bought a ring, Elena. I came back. You came back. Elena's laugh was sharp, bitter. You came back now? Today? I didn't know I didn't know about him. His name is David. David Morrison. He's a teacher. He volunteers at the community center. He calls his mother every Sunday. Elena's voice rose with each word. And he's been here, Marcus. Here. While you were God knows where, doing God knows what. Building our future. Marcus stepped forward. Everything I did for us. You knew that. You said you'd wait. I said I'd wait. Elena's eyes blazed. I was 17. You left the day after graduation and I got 3 emails in 5 years. 3, Marcus. The last one was 2 years ago and all it said was, still working hard. Take care. Take care? Like I was your dentist. Marcus felt the ground shift beneath him. I sent more than 3 emails. Well, I got 3. 3 emails while I wrote you every week for 2 years. Her voice cracked. I sent them to your company address. 35 letters, Marcus. 35 letters about my life. My dreams. Asking about yours. Telling you I missed you. Did you get any of them? The world tilted. What? No. No, I transferred buildings after 8 months. I never... Marcus ran his hand through his hair. You thought I ignored your letters? What was I supposed to think? Tears spilled down Elena's cheeks. You disappeared into your perfect career and forgot about the girl back home. So yes, I waited. I waited until my father had a stroke and I called you and the number was disconnected. I waited until I lost my job and needed someone and you weren't there. I waited until I realized I was putting my life on hold for a memory. I was working for us, Marcus said, but the words sounded hollow even to him. No. Elena shook her head. You were working for you, for some fantasy of who you needed to be before you could love me. You never asked what I wanted, Marcus. You never asked if I wanted to wait. You just decided I would. The patio door opened. David stepped out, his expression careful, controlled. Elena, are you all right? I'm fine, she said, but she wasn't fine. Her hands shook. Her mascara ran in black streaks down her face. I don't think you are, David said gently. He looked at Marcus, not with anger, but with something worse. Pity. I'm David Morrison, and you must be the Marcus I've heard about. She told you about me? Marcus felt a flicker of hope. She did. She told me about the boy she loved when she was young, the boy who promised her the world and then disappeared into it. David's voice wasn't cruel, just matter of fact. She also told me that boy taught her an important lesson about the difference between promises and presents. Marcus's hands clenched into fists. You don't know anything about us. I know I was there when her father died 3 months after his stroke. I know I helped her find a new job. I know I learned she takes her coffee with too much sugar and hates action movies, but pretends not to for her friends. I know she cries during commercials with dogs and that she's afraid of thunderstorms. David moved closer to Elena, and she leaned into him instinctively. I know her now, not who she was 5 years ago. Elena, please, Marcus said. Just talk to me, alone. Elena looked between them, her face anguished. Finally, she nodded. David, give us a minute. David hesitated, then kissed her forehead. I'll be inside. Take all the time you need. He left, closing the door softly behind him. Marcus and Elena stood in the string light glow, the sounds of the party muffled behind glass. Music played. People laughed. Life continued while Marcus's world crumbled. Do you love him? Marcus asked. Elena closed her eyes. That's not fair. Do you love him? He repeated. Yes. The word was barely a whisper. Yes, I love him. Marcus felt something break inside his chest. But you loved me first. I did. God, Marcus, I loved you so much it hurt. I loved you through 2 years of silence. I loved you through my father's funeral when you didn't even know he died. I loved you until loving you meant hating myself for being so stupid. I'm sorry, Marcus said. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on becoming someone worthy of you that I forgot to actually be with you. You were always worthy, Elena said, and the sadness in her voice destroyed him. That was never the problem. The problem was you thought love was a destination you had to earn instead of a journey you take together. Then let's take it together now, Marcus pleaded. It's not too late, we can start over. I'm engaged, Marcus. You're not married yet. Elena's eyes flashed with anger. So what? You think I should just abandon a good man who loves me because my high school boyfriend finally decided to show up? You think I should destroy David because you kept a promise I released you from 2 years ago? You never released me from anything. I did. Elena pulled out her phone, scrolled frantically, then turned it toward him. An email draft, dated 2 years and 3 months ago. I wrote this. I never sent it because I was too proud, too hurt. But I wrote it. Marcus read the words on the screen, each one a knife. Dear Marcus, I don't know if you'll read this or if it matters anymore, but I need to say it. I release you from your promise. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I hope it makes you happy. I've decided to look for happiness too, and I can't do that while holding on to us. Be well, Elena. You didn't send it, Marcus said desperately. Because I was angry, but not sending it doesn't mean I didn't mean it. I moved on, Marcus. I had to. In 2 years? You moved on that fast? Fast? Elena's laugh was incredulous. I grieved you for 3 years first. 3 years of checking my email obsessively, of jumping every time my phone rang, of seeing men with dark hair and thinking, maybe it's him. Don't you dare make it sound like I didn't mourn us. Marcus sank onto a patio chair, his legs unable to hold him. I bought a ring. I planned a whole speech. I was going to take you to the oak tree by the lake where we carved our initials and ask you properly. The oak tree where we carved our initials when we were 16, Elena said quietly. We were children, Marcus. We made promises children make. I kept mine. No, you didn't. Elena sat across from him. Your promise was to come back for me, not to disappear and show up 5 years later expecting me to be frozen in time. A real promise would have included phone calls and visits and shared experiences. You kept the letter of your promise and broke the spirit of it. The truth of her words settled over Marcus like snow, cold, suffocating. What do I do now? You let me go, Elena said softly. You let both of us go. I don't know how. You learn. She reached across the table and took his hand. Her touch sent electricity through him, familiar and foreign all at once. Marcus, I need to tell you something, and I need you to really hear it. What we had was real. It was beautiful. But it was also 5 years ago, and we're not those people anymore. I'm still the same person. Are you? Elena challenged. The Marcus I knew wanted to be a graphic designer. You said you'd never work corporate jobs because they'd kill your creativity. What do you do now? Marcus swallowed hard. I'm a senior project manager at a tech firm. Do you design anything? No. I manage teams and timelines and budgets. Are you happy? The question hung in the air. Marcus opened his mouth to say yes, then stopped. When was the last time he'd felt happy? When was the last time he'd done anything just because it brought him joy? I was going to be happy when I came back to you, he said finally. Oh, Marcus. Elena's eyes filled with tears again. You can't put your happiness in another person's hands. That's not love. That's dependence. David makes you happy? David is part of my happiness, yes. But I'm also happy with my new job. I'm happy with the pottery class I take on Thursdays. I'm happy with who I've become. I wasn't happy when all I did was wait for you to decide I was worth coming back to. Her words struck him like physical blows. You were always worth it. Then why did you make me wait to prove it? Elena pulled her hand away. Why did your career have to be perfect before you could love me? Why wasn't I enough as I was? Where I was? Marcus had no answer. The silence stretched between them, filled with the weight of 5 years and all the words they'd never said. I should go back inside, Elena said finally. David will worry. Does he know you're out here crying over another man? He knows I'm out here getting closure with someone I used to love. There's a difference. Elena stood, smoothing her dress. Marcus, I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. But it's not me. Not anymore. She turned to leave and panic seized Marcus. Wait. Can we meet tomorrow? One last time? At the oak tree like we used to? Elena hesitated at the door. Why? Because I need to say goodbye properly. And I think maybe you do too. She looked back at him, and for a moment he saw the 17-year-old girl who'd kissed him goodbye at the train station. Then she blinked, and the woman returned. 6 a.m, she said, like we used to for Sunday sunrise. I'll be there. Elena nodded and disappeared inside. Through the glass, Marcus watched her return to David, watched him wrap his arms around her, watched her lean into his strength. He watched the man he could have been if he'd chosen differently. Marcus didn't sleep. He walked the town until his feet ached, past the movie theater where they'd had their first date, past the high school where they'd shared lockers, past the coffee shop where she'd told him she loved him for the first time. Everything was the same. Everything was different. At 5:30, he made his way to the lake. The oak tree stood sentinel against the dawn sky, older, thicker, but unmistakably theirs. He found their carved heart, weathered but visible. M+E forever, it said. Forever had lasted 5 years. Elena arrived at exactly 6, wrapped in a coat against the morning chill. She carried 2 coffee cups. You remembered, Marcus said, taking the cup she offered. Too much sugar. Some things don't change. She sat on the bench someone had installed since they'd been here last. But most things do. They watched the sun paint the sky in shades of pink and gold, just like they had dozens of times before. The silence between them felt different now. Less painful. More accepting. I did wait for you, you know, Elena said finally. Not just the 2 years of letters. Even after I met David, even after we started dating, part of me was still waiting. Waiting for you to call, to come back, to fight for us. I'm here now, Marcus said. I'm fighting now. I know. But Marcus, it's too late. And honestly, I don't think I want you to fight for me anymore. Because if you really loved me, you would have fought 5 years ago. You would have called even when you were tired. You would have visited even when plane tickets were expensive. You would have chosen me alongside your dreams, not after them. Marcus felt tears on his face and didn't bother wiping them away. I thought I was choosing you. Everything I did was supposed to be for you. No, Elena said gently. Everything you did was for the idea of me, the me you left behind. You never asked who I'd become or what I needed. You just assumed I'd be here, waiting, unchanged. Who did you become? Marcus asked. Elena smiled, sad but genuine. Someone stronger than the girl you left. Someone who learned that love isn't about grand gestures and perfect timing. It's about showing up on Tuesday when nothing special is happening. It's about being present for the small moments that actually make up a life. David shows up for your Tuesdays. Every single one. Elena sipped her coffee. He knows I have nightmares about my father's death, so he leaves work early on the anniversary. He knows I stress eat chocolate when I'm anxious, so he keeps a stash in his desk. He knows me, Marcus. The real me, not the memory of me. Marcus stared at the lake, watching the sun's reflection dance on the water. I don't know the real you anymore, do I? No. And I don't know the real you. So that's it? We're strangers now? We're not strangers. Elena touched his arm. We're two people who loved each other once and who helped each other grow, even if the growth meant growing apart. That's not nothing. Marcus pulled the ring box from his pocket, turned it over in his hands. I picked this out 6 months ago. The jeweler asked who it was for, and I told her about you. About us. She said it sounded like a love story for the ages. Maybe it is, Elena said. Just not the ending you expected. I hate this ending. I know. But Marcus, can I tell you something? I think you needed this ending. I think you needed to lose something that mattered to show you that achievements and promotions and perfect plans don't mean anything if you're not living your life while you chase them. Marcus opened the ring box, looked at the diamond that would never grace Elena's finger. So what do I do now? You go back to your life and you actually live it. You call your mother more than once a month. You make friends who aren't coworkers. You find hobbies that have nothing to do with your career. You maybe even go back to designing, if that's what made you happy. Elena's voice was firm but kind. You stop waiting for your life to start when you've achieved enough and you start living it now. Alone? Maybe at first. But Marcus, you're 32. You have so much time to find someone who fits who you are now, not who you were at 17. Someone you can build a life with instead of working to deserve. Marcus closed the ring box with a snap. Did you ever love David the way you loved me? Elena considered the question seriously. No. I love him differently. I loved you with the intensity of first love, with all that obsession and fear and desperate need. I love David with the steadiness of real love, with trust and partnership and choice. I choose him every day, not because I need him, but because I want him. That's better, Marcus. That's stronger. It doesn't feel better. It will. Eventually. Elena stood, brushing off her coat. I need to get back. David and I are having breakfast with his parents. Marcus stood too, and for a moment they just looked at each other. 5 years of history, of love, of mistakes and missed chances hung between them. I'm sorry, Marcus said, for all of it. For leaving, for staying away, for assuming you'd wait, for not being who you needed. I'm sorry too, Elena said, for being angry, for not sending that email, for not tracking you down and demanding answers. We both made mistakes. Do you forgive me? I do. Do you forgive me? There's nothing to forgive, Marcus said honestly. You lived your life. That's what you should have done. Elena stepped forward and hugged him. Marcus held her tight, memorizing the feel of her, knowing this was the last time. She smelled different. Vanilla instead of the strawberry shampoo she used to use. Another small change that marked the distance between who they'd been and who they'd become. Goodbye, Marcus, she whispered. Goodbye, Elena. She pulled away, smiled once more, and walked back toward the parking lot. Marcus watched her go, watched her get into a car he didn't recognize, and drive away from him for the last time. He stood by the oak tree until his coffee went cold, until the sun fully rose, until he was ready to leave this chapter behind. 1 year later, Marcus sat in a coffee shop in his new city. He'd left the tech firm 3 months after returning from his hometown, took a pay cut to join a small design studio, started therapy, joined a running club, called his mother every Sunday. A woman rushed past his table and knocked his coffee over. It spilled across his sketchbook, ruining the logo design he'd been working on. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She grabbed napkins frantically. I'm such a disaster. Let me buy you another coffee. Marcus looked up at her. Curly red hair, freckles, bright green eyes filled with genuine distress. He felt himself smile, really smile, for the first time in months. It's okay, he said. It was just a rough draft anyway. I'm Marcus. Sophie, she said, still blotting at the spilled coffee. And I really am sorry. Are you an artist? Designer. And actually, a fresh coffee would be great. Sophie grinned, relieved. One fresh coffee coming up, and maybe I could see some of your work? I run a small bookstore and I've been looking for someone to redesign our logo. Marcus felt something shift in his chest. Not the desperate, consuming feeling he'd had for Elena. Something gentler. The possibility of something new. I'd like that, he said. As Sophie went to order their coffees, Marcus pulled out his phone. He typed a message he'd been meaning to send for months. Elena, I heard about your wedding. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. I'm learning to be. He added, thank you for teaching me that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone go. He hit send, then put his phone away. The past was the past. The future was walking back toward him with 2 steaming cups and a smile that promised Tuesday mornings and Sunday phone calls and all the small, ordinary moments that actually made a life worth living. This ending was better. Elena had been right. It just took him a while to see it. If you've made it this far, drop a comment below. Have you ever had to let go of someone you loved? How did you move on? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about love, loss, and learning to live in the present instead of the past. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Your support means everything. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the promises we break are the ones that set us free.